So we are at the SIAM convention with ongoing conversations with industry stalwarts, and I have with me none other than Pawan Goenka. Everyone in the industry knows him, though he's not with the industry anymore. But Pawan, thanks for talking to us, and it's great to now get a sort of outside perspective as to how you feel the industry is panning out. I think you've seen a lot of changes, dynamic changes within the industry. I mean, we've had some positive taxation benefit. I don't know if you've ever seen such taxes going down to this rate ever.
No.
I think maybe years back when it was 66% excise, it had come down maybe for 20, 30
but
years back.
This was totally unexpected in some sense, though industry has been requesting this for quite some time, but still I don't think anybody expected that this will happen.
And do you think, obviously the timing of it, clearly, the whole tariff issue, clearly to give a booster shot to the auto industry, there was just concerns about, India from, global trade point of view. Do you think the timing had some impact?
I wouldn't know, but something like this cannot be fast-tracked in 1 or 2 weeks.
Right.
So obviously the thought has been there for quite some time. Groundwork must have been done much before this whole tariff thing came in. It may be that they have split up by a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but they couldn't have started on that day and say we are going to finish it in 3 or 4 weeks.
Right.
So I don't think it has to do with the tariffs. It is something that was intended. Tariffs may have split up by a week, 2 weeks, but nothing more than that.
Right. And Pawan, I've just come back from the Munich show. What really stood out was the amount of Chinese manufacturers. There's all pervading. Now, one immediately draws, let's say comparisons with the Indian industry, and we are not yet quite global. Let's say even a Mahindra or a Tata, to be able to sell in Europe, in the US, the way the Chinese are doing, what do you think it takes to do that? I mean, one could say the way the industry is structured, there are some challenges there. One is there's not enough competition as well, because if you're happy in the domestic market with just a few handful of players and you've locked out the domestic market, that doesn't give you that much incentive to push to go abroad as well.
So Hormazd, I'll give you my perspective, and you probably know it better than most of the people on what the predicament may be. So first of all, see, Chinese companies that are showing globally and launching product globally, it didn't happen overnight. They went through a long period of purely domestic before they looked at export, right? So, and the reason for that was that I don't think, and I hope that I am not saying something that is not correct, but I don't think that they had the products that could sell outside up until recently, last few years.
Right. That's
Same
right.
thing is true for India. Okay. Let's go back to Mahindra, or even Tata for that matter. If I look at Mahindra, the Scorpio, though hugely successful in India, was not a product that was ready for export. I mean, I have to admit that.
Right.
XUV 500 came little better, but it's still not quite.
Yeah, and it was the first monocoque also, so a lot of learnings
not
there.
Not quite. Yeah. XUV 700 is the product that can easily be showcased outside India and do well outside India. So what I'm saying is it took 3 product cycles.
Right.
For us to get to a product that would be the right product for selling in volumes. I mean, you can always sell 100 there and 50 there, I'm not talking about that, but in volume outside India. And that's the thing that I believe the maturity has happened now in Indian companies. I'm only talking of the Tata Mahindra, not the multinationals who are here, but the Tata Mahindra and Maruti to some extent. The maturity has happened where the products that we are launching has the technology, has the design, though on design sometimes you and I disagree, but has the design and has the quality level, right?
Right.
And clearly, cost, if you leave out tariffs, that will be better than most of the countries, barring China perhaps.
Okay. Right.
So I think, and I've been saying this for last year and a half, the time for Indian OEMs to move aggressively towards export has now arrived.
Right.
We've been working on it for the last 15 years, but we were not ready. Now we are ready.
Right.
Now we're ready, and now is the time for us to go and do it. Now, you also know very well that in automotive business, having the right product, right price, right quality, right technology is not enough. Even right design is not enough.
You need a brand
the
also.
brand.
Yeah.
You need the brand. And therefore, the thrust on building the brand is extremely important. Now,
And not easy and costly.
not easy, and it's very expensive, right? And each brand in India has certain association. To sell outside India, sometimes we have to get out of that association and create a new association, right? Therefore, it may even become necessary to create a new brand,
Rebrand it.
rebrand it. May become necessary. Okay,
Right.
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
But
But that's an option one
that's
could
an
consider.
option that one could consider. But I truly believe, I truly believe that time is right now
Yeah.
for Mahindras and Tatas to start playing the export game in a big way. They have the product and they have the aspirations.
Right.
And they've been out there for long time.
Yeah,
Right.
but that's the thing. They've been out there for a long time, Pawan. But you take a company like BYD. It was founded in 1995.
Yeah.
You know, I would say Mahindra also. It was a new beginning after the
2000.
delicensing period when you could start. You know, you
Correct.
could get the investment
Correct.
in. You get and then I think with Scorpio was the first. 2002 was like the first kind of Mahindra on its way. So if you see how the Chinese have done it very fast.
So to me, I said this last year that no matter what anybody says, the domestic growth, only I'm talking passenger vehicle, long run in India will be single digit.
Yeah.
I don't think we can hope for double digit growth. Maybe there is a year or two that will happen.
Not
sometimes,
of this
but
strong, not of such a high base.
Not long term. 6, 7, 8% is what we should be happy with, domestic growth, right? If you want to grow 10, 12%, we have to go 20% export.
Right.
And that's the main point, that we have to aim for 20% export growth, add to that 7% domestic growth, get about 11, 12% growth.
Right. And Pawan, just one question is on let's say the regulatory environment. Too many compliances. They don't all come together where you can plan. They come every 6 months. There are different challenges. There's CAFE. There's ethanol fuel. There are so much. There's emissions. There's safety. I think a lot of investment just goes in meeting these compliances, which kind of takes away then from product development. Now, I know we need the regulation, but what do you think of our regulatory approach?
So
is
I
it
think
a little too piecemeal, a little not too thought out, not long term enough?
Well,
Because
look,
clearly, then something happens and everyone's diverted into meeting that immediate requirement.
I'm a little careful because I'm both an insider now and outsider.
Yeah.
So, but I would say the following, that a more coordinated approach is required. There is a parent ministry, MHI, and I think MHI needs to have the ability to ensure that whatever comes out of the regulation is holistic, right? The MORTH regulating the industry, Ministry of Power, BEE or BE regulating, sometimes things come from Commerce or DPIIT, sometimes, not too often. Petroleum sometimes does few things. So MHI should play the role of being the
Nodal agency in a way.
yeah, I mean, look, you cannot say that only MHI will regulate. That
Right.
just won't work, because every department of the government has their own sort of scope
Right.
right. So you cannot say that, but MHI somehow should be able to say, look, this is going too far, or this is conflicting with this, and something like that. That's one part. But I would also say that the government is now fully aware of these kind of situations that some sectors are facing, right? And there is a very concentrated effort to ease regulations, right? The Honorable Prime Minister had mentioned on 15th August from that fort that we are going to set up a committee to do regulatory reforms, right? The committee has been set up, which is taking a very aggressive view on all regulations, on how do we make life of the industry and of a common man easier, right? And this is not some incremental fine tuning at the edges.
It's a complete overall.
It's complete overall, right? So and look, you should also admit that auto industry is an industry where in all countries there are multiple departments that regulate. It's not just in India.
There are so many aspects of it.
So many
Safety,
aspects of it, right?
manufacturing,
So
environment.
It's one of
the
those
works,
countries, and fortunately, most companies are big enough that they're able to tackle it because there are a different set of people who are doing this, that, and other. So if you look at India specifically, there are safety norms, emission norms, fuel consumption or fuel efficiency norms, there are three primary things that one would have to balance. And we must admit that no matter how much we have cried about getting pressurized too much, end of the day we are ahead in the
Yeah,
game, right?
yeah.
If we were not pressurized, we would have been in a cocoon, very happy, safe, life moves on, we sell lots of vehicles, make lots of money, share prices go up, everybody is happy.
Right now we are globally competitive largely
Absolutely.
because of meeting the
Absolutely.
regulations.
We became globally competitive. I said earlier that now we have the products. Why? Some of it we did ourselves, some of it government forced us to do.
Right.
And we must admit and admire that the government pushed us to a
Right.
level which was almost saying you cannot do it to us.
Right. BS4 to BS6 especially.
Right.
You were
So
very much-
BS6, I was on the side, this side of the boundary, and
Right.
Mr. Gadkari still often mentions that Pawan Goenka ने काफी lobbying की थी, ठीक है. But that pushed us, right? Maybe we should have been given one more year introspect. Maybe not. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But we are better for it. Safety norms. Look at where we were.
Yeah, that's
Just 10 years ago.
right.
Look at where we are today.
Yeah, and in fact, Velu was telling me that with the new platform, he can do a Euro NCAP as
Yeah.
well, which is global.
Right. So look where we are. So it's our ability to do these things is there. We just were in a comfort zone, and government pushed us out the comfort zone. Same thing in fuel efficiency. Right now, everybody is saying very stringent, and they probably are stringent.
Yeah,
But if finally it gets adopted, I'm sure the industry will find a way of meeting it,
right.
and then we'll be
Yeah,
better.
I mean, I think there's this whole ethanol debate also. which
Ethanol
seems to have been
debate,
thrust on us.
ethanol debate. I don't know enough, Hormazd, so I don't
Right.
want to guess. But there are three aspects to it. An aspect about crude oil import. Clearly, there we are benefiting.
No, that makes a big
Right?
difference.
An aspect about farmer prosperity. Clearly, that's a positive thing
Yeah.
also. An aspect about consumer,
Yeah,
which is where some debate is going on right
Yeah.
now. I personally believe that even if there's an issue, it's an issue of starting point, right? And it'll get resolved. Because
Yeah.
inherently, there is no reason why there should be 15 or 10 or 12% loss in fuel efficiency, inherently.
Yeah.
So it'll get resolved. It may be some calibration that is not done properly, some fuel that is not coming right, I don't know what it might be, but it will get resolved.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the whole issue of the energy density. But anyway, Pawan, lastly, thanks talking. I mean, I think how you've been outside the industry. You've been in something like space as well. Just to get some perspective. I mean, now looking at the industry, auto industry. I mean, it is very special, isn't it? It's a very high achieving industry with high achieving people as well. And what you've also done in your career has just been phenomenal. In fact, I would say. Mahindra is one company, if you see the technological leap, I'm not sure if you know this, but until the Bolero came out, you still had a non-independent front suspension.
Yes.
Do you know how antiquated
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is?
yeah.
And then to go right into cutting edge EVs in the space of 25 years. So that's a lot
Yep.
of,
Yep.
I think that's been quite an amazing leap. But again, how do you see the industry as as an outsider now? You've been an insider, but as an outsider compared to space. And is it really just a success of private enterprise, which it is?
I would say that the people who are leading the industry, and I would say especially promoters, not just professionals, are very people with a lot of aspiration. Okay, and I would also say, to some extent, people with a national mission, not just saying how do I grow my company. You take any of these large groups in automotive, they all have a feeling for the country also. It's not something that I'm just doing it for myself, my company or my shareholders, right? So in terms of having the aspiration to grow, India is perhaps number one of any country.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I don't have data, but I'm just sort of saying that I
Right.
think it's number one of any country. Now, where do we sometimes fall short is that we need to be, I would say, in an indecent hurry
Yeah.
to get to some place, right? And where we are not been in that indecent hurry is to make a mark in export.
Right. Yeah.
And part of the reason is what you said earlier, that perhaps there is enough opportunity in India that the need for making a mark and export has not been there. It's obviously more difficult
Yeah.
than making a mark
And to
in
be
India.
honest, not even competition. If you look at it today, 6 groups or 6 manufacturers control 94% of the market, 2 of which are Mahindra and Tata. So obviously the competition intensity also is not that high.
But see, if you look at domestic
about domestic, yeah.
product,
Yeah.
even though it's only 6, but 6 is good enough.
Yeah, in China there are some.
Yeah, 6 is good enough. Look,
100,
you
yeah.
go back to US
Yeah,
40 years ago, 50
Right.
years ago, it was only 3,
yeah,
right?
right,
But yet the US auto industry was leading the world
Yeah.
with only 3, GM, Ford and Chrysler.
right,
So 6 is enough for that, for creating competition. And I think where we are today, whether you take Mahindra, Tata, Maruti, or anyone else, other 2 or 3
Koreans.
are obviously outside, from outside India. They have come to this level because of competition. Okay, otherwise we would be happy making the vehicles we're making.
yeah,
But we knew that we cannot sell those vehicles at all. If Mahindra grows and Tata does not, or vice versa, then one will sit and other will run. But what I don't want to undermine, and I want to say it very clearly, is the government of India has played tremendous supporting role,
right.
throughout. Auto industry is one of the most looked after industry
right,
of government of India.
Yeah.
In spite of our crying foul on the BS6 and
Right.
this and that other, but most supported industry of government of India. Look at the amount of money they're pouring in. PLI scheme.
yeah,
The 2 largest PLI scheme were for auto.
right,
Yeah. FAME scheme.
right,
Look at the size of the FAME scheme, right? So the MHI has always been a supporting
Right.
industry, a supporting ministry for us. So therefore, I think it's aspiration of our leaders and their feeling about doing something not just for me but for the country, and the support from the government together has led us to where we are. Now the next frontier for us is export.
right. On that note, Pawan, next frontier is exports. Let's hope when we have this conversation after the next 10 years, an Indian brand has made
Yes,
its mark internationally.
absolutely.
Thanks so much for talking to us.
Okay.
Thanks.